channel going live, not.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to another race in the SHAR Simpsons Hit and Run bonus game tournament. Today we have Zoton and Flingle. It should be a good race. I believe this is round one still. Quite a bit noticeable difference in PBs. Zoton has a 10:31. Flingle has an 8:44 from the other day. So yeah, it should be an interesting race. If both runners are ready, we will get underway.
I will be. 5 laps, first thing, whoever the hell I want. I am ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Excellent. Well, in that case, we won't waste any time. Good luck to you both. In 3, 2, 1, go. There we go. Both runners have started. Let's have a look. Both getting the school bus, but I think Flingle gets the Bone Storm truck as well, which is slightly worse. RNG. Fairly straightforward, this track. Not much outside of traffic cars that can trip you up. And there's not many spots where they tend to sort of clog up or like congest. Yeah, it's a very close race so far. Going into the final lap, that's almost a 2-second lead for Flingle, who was telling me off stream that he, before the race started, that he's only been playing SHAR for a few weeks, so very nice to have him, a fresh face in the tournament. And he does take a bit of a lead. I want to say that's 1.6 seconds. Or thereabouts. Zoton is Apu and Flingle is Lisa. I think both of those draws are pretty good for both runners. But it doesn't take much on this track with a figure of 8. You know, it's more about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Intersection slop, exactly. And I suppose that traffic, that minivan is quite lengthy. You've got to be wary of cars that are like long in these sorts of tracks, like the limo, the rocket car, obviously the bus. But it looks like both runners are handling it nicely. Sup, Blue Badge, sup. Sorry I missed your race yesterday. Congratulations on reaching the next round and defeating your nemesis. Oh, Flingle with a bit of a... Oh dear, Flingle. Yeah, sorry mate, I missed it. Flingle getting caught... Oh no, this is a terrible lap from Flingle, and he's now 3 seconds behind. Was unexpected. It's just those tire things, those bollards. Sometimes they can just be a real pain. And once you sort of stick to them, it's almost like a mental thing. Like it's hard to like take a breath and it's like, okay, reverse back out of it. To make matters worse, Flingle has got the Plough King and I believe the Cletus truck. And it was actually the sports car out of those three that spun him out there. And he hits another bollard. Zoton, I believe, having slightly better fortunes. Of that minivan was quite precarious there. This is definitely a track where the AI can decide it wants to stick to a corner or a tight turn and make things harder for the user. As Zoton grows his lead. Remember, he did have a significantly worse PB going into this. I think he said he got an offline PB recently, but I wasn't sure what it was. So this could be a real unpredictable race. This could go to three rounds if we're lucky. And that's like 4.3 and a half. Well, 4.3 and a half isn't a thing. 4.35. As both runners proceed to Marge. Now this track has got a lot of sort of divots. I can see some rage bait in the chat. I would not refer to this as the easiest track. It might not be the hardest track, but it's definitely a track where you can lose tons of time because there's just so many spots where you can get like caught. There's not really many good places to boost. Like you saw, I think it was Zoton that tried to boost on this stretch here, and he just smacked into the wall because you got to be careful. I often use the boost to get over that shortcut because it's quite bumpy. As you see there, Flingle loses a lot of speed. Probably still worth it over taking the long way around, but it's the power park corridor is like you got to sort of weave in and out, and then if there's a traffic car, then you can't weave out or weave in. It's just a headache. This has killed so many paces for me. And Zoton ends with a 446. Shout out to Crazy Turn Dog. Flingle with a 450 flat, so he did make up a little bit of ground there. I think he has probably played more recently out of the two runners, so that might come to his advantage. CTD versus Liquid Wi-Fi meme numbers, true. Good spot. Zoton remembers to go in reverse, as does Flingle, but he gets the Obliterator and the Cadillac, which has often caused me problems. I know it's not a truck, but it seems to just really be a horrible car with horrible like corners. Like it's like a jagged sort of hitbox. And Flingle hits that wall there, as we all have at some point. And runners sort of in sync now. And I'm not sure what happened. I was watching Flingle, but Zoton appears to have lost some of his lead. And he'll lose more of his lead thanks to the rocket car. That was very unfortunate for Zoton. I imagine that will signify a change. Yeah, he's quite far behind now after being so far ahead. Yeah, that rocket car. The rocket car is either like completely fine and it doesn't cause you any problems, or it's like, it's just completely chaos. Flingle will end with a 6:08.63, and Zoton will end with a 6:17.9. And it just occurred to me that Zoton doesn't have the second decimal point in his splits, which is fine. It's, for the purposes of what we're doing, it's completely fine. Both runners remember to change back to forwards. They're not using the Kane, California tech, which I'm personally not in favour of. I like this track forwards. I think it's very nice forwards. Although Zoton gets caught there, that bit can sometimes be a huge pain. Speaking of a huge pain, he's got the sellouts car as one of his AIs, and it rings incessantly during this game mode. Something to do with how it's coded, I guess. The times are quite close now, but I'm not sure if they're on the same lap or not. So we'll see at the end of the track. I think they've both sort of come a cropper of certain parts of this track that, yeah, 7:16 for Flingle. Yes, Zoton has another lap to do, so that's quite a large lead now for Flingle. Another unfortunate turn for Zoton, who sort of hung in there for most of the race and was in the lead for a few tracks, but has just fallen back behind again. I didn't see what Flingle got in his opponents. Although sometimes it's not your opponents in Homer 2, it's just the obstacles. Zoton definitely doesn't get any blessings here. Canyonero and Plow King. Although he does... apart from there, he did survive that first turn, which is the main issue on this track, is that first turn. Oh, the graffiti truck, the unused car. Oh, and Plow King and Canyonero. Jesus, that was very unfortunate with Zoton. Very unfortunate. And now he's stuck. Is he blown up? He's blown his car up. Flingle ends with a 8:46, and that will definitely be good enough to take this first race. GG, Flingle. I'm just going to check the mute chat to see if Flingle is saying anything in the mute chat. No, he's not. And Zoton finishes there with I believe it was a 9:22. Which is better than the time that was on this graphic, but I don't believe it was. He'll confirm whether or not that's a PB. Let's have a look. Zoton said it was a missed PB by mere seconds, which is still pretty good for a race. It's still pretty good to be that close in a race, I guess. So if both runners are ready, hopefully Zoton can PB now. If both runners are ready, we can race again. And I believe both runners are ready. So Good luck to you both again for the second race, starting in 3, 2, 1, go. It was a synchronized starting for both of them. The monorail appears for Flingle. I see the rocket. I see the Cadillac in Zoton's pool. I have a grudge against the Cadillac in bonus game. It's just it always just seems to be the death of me. Oh, very close out these first 2 laps from these 2 competitors. Zoton using the only boost you get. The only boost you get in Homer 1 is the boost you start with, because there are no boost canisters spawning in the map. I don't know why that is the case. I suppose they just wanted a nice, simple concept for the first level. Flingle, did Flingle get stuck on something there? I was. Anyway, he's only 2.5 seconds behind, which is not a huge amount of time, even in a category as short as this. Yeah, it's kind of weird that you only get what you start with there. You only the 3 at the beginning. I was scanning both of their opponents, and I didn't see any major troublemakers. Both runners seemingly avoiding all 3 of their opponents. In both goes round. Oh, Flingle sort of getting caught behind. Was that the limo, or was that the traffic? It looked like the limo to me. Hard to tell from that angle. Nearly everyone, I believe everyone, apart from CTD, who had to race on the GameCube, where it's not an option. I believe every runner in this tournament has opted to use first person. No one has been brave enough to race top down. And Flingle ends with a 2:13.50. Zoton with a 2:17.4. It's still a close race. Zoton has now selected Marge. Flingle gets, oh my god, the Canyonero, the monster truck, and the cola truck. That is about as bad as you can get RNG wise. Zoton not as bad, but still has the Canyonero and the armor truck to deal with, and the armor truck causes problems for him instantly, but nothing major. And then the Canyonero butts in as well. Flingle surprisingly not having much issues that I can see with his group of death, although the cola truck now is in front of him. But that's pretty smooth. And runners sort of synced again. Flingle taking the ramp and smacking into the wall like the AI always does. That's perhaps he felt he couldn't slalom in for the much quicker non-shortcut, which is an oxymoron, but nonetheless. And he finishes with a 3:24, so I believe he will retain his lead despite his incredibly bad RNG, he will extend his lead over Zoton here, who admittedly did not get great RNG, but could not capitalise on his opponent's misfortune. Rocket Car Electorus, and again with the monster truck. Yeah, it was. Yeah, apart from that shortcut, it would have been that was a great Lisa, all things considered. I will have to mention that to him after in the interview that was a highlight for me. Zoton with pretty lenient group of cars, apart from the noisemaker that is the sellouts car, which also strats him a little bit there. Oh, and Flingle having some issues, as we mentioned earlier, with that tight alleyway with the chicanes, the sort of mini chicanes. It's so hard to retain any speed on this track. This might be an issue for Zoton, but it's not. Flingle with a 441. Zoton with a 450. So it's not as close as it was at this stage in the first race, but I believe Zoton was still in the lead at this point in the first race. Both runners remember to go backwards. Flingle getting two cars that aren't really cars, but they're more like bikes and or quad bikes. Yeah, that was a pretty solid marge for Zoton. I think he did gain some ground. I think he's on pace roughly with his first run, which was nearly a PB. Which after that, Lisa is pretty impressive. He does, however, spin out there and lose some time. Oh dear, Flingle. Oh, that was very nice. He dealt with that very nicely. It kind of broke pretty well for him, but he still reacted very calmly. Oh, Zoton with a little bit of collision there. See, that's what the issue with that corner is. It just, where does it begin? Where does it end? Or Zoton trying to sort of take the inside lane, but you can't do that on that turn. It's a mirage. And Flingle will take quite a substantial lead now. But this last lap isn't too bad for Zoton. That is unfortunate. Yeah, that was like what? That was like a 116 ARPU for Flingle. Both runners remember to revert back to forwards. Zoton is Marge. I'm assuming that Flingle is selected Lisa. I've not seen him not select Lisa. Zoton gets the milk truck and immediately goes up its rear. Then does the same to the clown. I think that's Crutty's limo, actually, not the clown car. Apologies. Zoton with a bit of a rough first lap there. Flingle not exactly problem free either with that graffiti truck, unused graffitied garbage truck or whatever sort of truck it's meant to represent. We just don't know because it wasn't used in the game's story, and it doesn't. He gets a 706 either way, which is pretty solid. Pretty solid exit time. He's on PB pace, which is very exciting. And he gets looks like okay RNG to me from what I can see. The limo, I suppose, could be. Oh, that's a bad first turn, which is not an uncommon occurrence on this track. Zoton is 31 seconds behind with a 737. But if what he said earlier is to be believed, I believe he could PB. I believe he could get a 90X here. The Canyonero might have other ideas, but. And that's. Oh, I was about to say that's not too bad, but that's actually pretty rough for Zoton there, that first turn. That first turn really is the worst thing. Because it's more an issue of the traffic cars sometimes just bunched together. It's not really about having one in there that's like particularly bad. Although if it's three very large cars, it's often inevitable. Zoton stuck on a wall there. Very easy to get stuck on a wall or lose all your pace in this grueling bonus game track. Flingle, that is a PB, isn't it? GG, that is a personal best. And he does take the second race, and he does take the tie. So he will progress to round 2. I don't know who he's facing, but he should be very pleased with himself. That was a very good run. He faces Critch. Ooh. I look forward to it. I don't know what Zoton's PB status is, because I'm not entirely sure what time he's aiming for. But the red hue of his timer tells me that he has narrowly missed it. GG nonetheless. That was a very entertaining race, both rounds. And
are we doing post-race stuff?
Yeah, certainly we can do. Yeah, that was very entertaining. That first race was particularly. You were in the lead for like 3 or 4 tracks.
That wasn't a PB for me. I was like 5 seconds behind. My current one is 9:13. I do have a video. Okay. I will submit it. Now I can get one here. Unless I want to grind it some more offline. But I mean, I was mainly practicing for this. But like, seeing as I hadn't played for a while, like that's 1 minute better than whatever I have on leaderboards from 6 years ago, whenever it was.
Yeah, I believe it was. Yeah, it was popped up on the graphic as 6 years.
That rocket car is that in the first attempt? Just kind of put me off.
I think it was the first one. Yeah, that when that happens, it's just so demoralizing. And it just
There's something that happened to me. I think Bart won in the first race. I was like, I got like totally pinned backwards and had to like drive backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, because you ended up. Yeah, because you were behind for a few like races, tracks as a result of that. Obviously, one thing I do want to mention, Flingle, is that Lisa in your second race, that was absolutely incredible. You had like the worst RNG possible.
I know.
And apart from that bit where you had to take the ramp, the jump instead of taking the shortcut, that was pretty much the only error. And it was like Yeah, very good Lisa, all things considered.
Yeah, I was just trying to manage the traffic. I was like getting blocked in the corners. I was just trying to find a way
Yeah.
around. Yeah.
I really don't like it on Bart 2, where it's like,
Oh,
so you
yeah.
have the dam bit, right?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
someone will drive off the edge and then they'll respawn right in the middle. And you're like,
Yeah.
Or you try and stick to the right too much and you hit the hitbox on the.
Yeah, you bounce off and
It's like
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
Turn 1's the scariest in Bart 2 because like somebody like as long as you can get ahead, you can be pretty safe that nobody will respawn on the dam in front of you. But if somebody gets in front of you before turn 1 in the first lap, then it's like it'll lose you a bunch of time.
Yeah, so I mean, I wasn't terrible at the start. It's more going to the end. I can see why people would want to do the like 7th one last or whatever. I don't know what people. Sorry, first. I don't know what people do order-wise, but
I think that is the most common one because it's just that first turn is like an absolute nightmare.
How are the spikes even meant to work? Like I've seen someone have them down a bit. I assume that.
I don't think I've really thought about this. I can't work out if they're on a cycle or if it's just like RNG, or it doesn't seem like they're on a cycle at all because it doesn't seem consistent. But then in every other lap other than the first one, they're always up. Like it's only the first lap they're sometimes down. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't make sense of it.
Yeah.
Clearly, what I'm saying is the people who have it down are cheating. Clearly.
Yeah,
I know you can gun it through a specific gap, so it's fine.
Yeah, you have to get like it's hard to find because it's like your car's narrow, like bigger than the spike path, but if you get it like perfectly in the right line, then you can make it through without
I think my
losing
problem
speed.
on the last one is just spinning out a lot, which is turning corners and then accelerating while turning, I guess. So
I find the last turn on Homer 2 to be the worst for spinning out. I can never retain my speed coming out of that turn.
Yeah.
Annoyingly, I know I did it once where it's like someone flips me around, so I'm like, it's much easier just to drive backwards than it is to turn around.
Sometimes it is, yeah. Sometimes you just got to
and then just drive forward again when you get to the corner.
Yeah, I've done that a few times on Lisa as well. I think one of you did it in one of your Lisas. I saw.
I think me, at least on the second one, I think I remember reversing, getting spun around, and then just reversing.
Yeah, I remember Lisa. I think my first Lisa one was not the best. I think I was spun around at some point on Lisa as well.
Yeah, it is. That's the other one that people tend to do towards the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so Flingle goes ahead. That's the last one of round one, I think.
Oh, excellent! Yep. So that's round one over with.
I think so. I mean, I don't remember seeing any others. I think they're just waiting on me.
Yeah, I think this was the last one actually. Now that you say that. But yeah, Flingle will race Critch in the next round. So that would be
look forward at some point in the future.
Definitely, and we look forward to it.
Yeah, GG.
I think he said tomorrow or Sunday. So I mean, if you can do tomorrow, then hit him up.
Nice.
Okay.
But anyway,
thanks for watching.
GG's. Thank you to Amber for the restream, and thank you to you two for racing.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yep.
And we'll see you at some point for another race.
I'll be back for the next tournament.
Yippee.
Which is what always happens, right?
Always, like clockwork.